Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Felon Bo and I are here to give y'all our top tips and tricks for using your Kobo e-reader. So I tell you what, y'all go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I'm gonna get rid of this felon because he's sitting here breathing directly into my microphone, making this sound like a naughty movie. So I'm gonna get rid of this felon. I'm gonna get us set up on another camera so that you can actually see the e-reader as I tell you things about it. And I'll be right back and we'll get into this thing. All right, y'all, let's get into this. So I finally got rid of that felon. I have moved y'all to the floor so that I can kind of like talk to you. And I have my Kobo Libra color right here. Did I already tell you that I want to do this using the Kobo Libra color? Because there are a couple of things, well, one thing for sure that I want to show you, probably the first thing we're going to talk about, how it works with the color, but with the Kobo Libra color. But most of these things are just sort of generic, like across Kobo devices things. So let's jump straight into this. Let me get us over on this other camera. And I have a list so that I can like stay focused and get us through this thing, because y'all, I got to go teach another class here pretty quickly. So let's get on with this. The first thing I want to show you is, hopefully you can see it in this light, but to adjust, oh yeah, you can totally see that. To adjust the brightness, just drag your thumb up and down the left side of your screen. And here's what I want to show you. If you switch your thing, it's still the left side of your screen. It knows where it is. So it's always the left side of your screen to drag up and down to adjust the brightness with it. And of course, like it's in menus. You can go into menus and do that, but that's like the quickie way to do it. So you can adjust your brightness, and speaking of menus, if you want to schedule your, I got rid of this felon, he's right back. If you want to schedule your warm light to change, so here's the actual, let me grab my stylus. Here's the actual like brightness slider. So you can do that, and here's the warmth, like to change the, see that? To change your warmth, well, you can schedule. Like if you know you go to bed at, y'all, 11 o'clock at night, that's like the next day for me. But anyway, if you know you go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, you can schedule your screen to go from like really light to warm. If you know that that's like when you want the warmth of your screen to increase or decrease, however you want it to do it, you can set that. So that's there. All you have to do is, from like inside a book, just touch the middle of the screen. Oops, not like that. Touch where you don't, y'all, I highlight the fool out of a book. So there we go. That's good. So touch where you don't have highlighted, and it gives you this top menu, which we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, so those are a couple of quickie ways to change your lighting. Oh, I just showed you you can already tell I don't have my screen orientation locked because I can turn my thing and my pages turn. Well, sometimes you want to be able to turn your book and your pages not turn. See up there at the top? I just did that same thing where you touch and it gives you the top screen. Well, that little dealio up at the top that kind of looks like you're like shaking a drink shaker, that lets you set your, I'm trying to get, I have my viewfinder over here. So if y'all are like, what is she looking at over there? I'm trying to see what y'all are looking at. So you can, I have mine to auto rotate, obvi, but you can lock it either in portrait, so you can turn it and it doesn't turn, or you can lock it in landscape. Now, y'all, this messes me up. And fortunately, I was messing with this earlier, so I know not to do this. But mine is in portrait all the time. So before I was like, oh, I want to get it out of this. And I kept trying to touch the top of the screen. Well, now the top of the screen is the side of the screen. So anyway, it's locked in portrait. So you can move it any old kind of how. And I was sitting there thinking, like, why would you even want to do that? Let me tell you why you would want to do that. If you're laying in the bed reading and you want to, or anywhere, like if you're sitting, there are probably a bunch of different reasons you would want to do this, but one reason for sure is if you're sitting somewhere that's like kind of an awkward position, and if you turn, it's going to turn the thing into landscape. But if you're moving, like if you're laying with your head like this and you don't want the thing in landscape, just lock that bad boy. So anyway, that's that. So you just touch the middle of the screen like you mean it. And it gives you that top menu, and it's that like drink shaker at the top. So you turn it off a drink shaker. Another thing you can do from that same top menu, if you go into settings, and this is definitely model specific, but the Libra color for sure, I'm sure the other Libras too, but this is the only one that I have. You can map your buttons. So like, I can't even with the fact that this is inverted, because what kind of animal wants their top button to go backwards, not forwards? I don't even know who you are. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I mean, I'm judging you a little bit, but mostly I'm kidding. But so in here, you can set it so that your top button goes forward like a normal person, and your bottom button goes backwards. And that's just in settings, and it's right there. It's like a big old picture, button controls. So if you want it the other way, you just do the default, and that's the top is backwards and the bottom is forwards. I cannot with that. Y'all, I would seriously be like reading books backwards. All right. We're going to talk about something that folks are a little mad about. In many, probably most, but not all, Kobos, there's a dark mode. And y'all, I'm going to call it like either dark mode with air quotes, or I'm going to call it a dark-ish mode. Because, and here's, first of all, let me tell you where it is. Again, touch the middle, get that top screen, go into settings. And it's, I think, page 2 of settings. Yeah. Page 2 of settings, dark mode on. And if you don't know dark mode, I think like if you're a dark mode person, you know dark mode. But it just gives you white letters on a black background instead of black letters on a white background. And I think like if you're reading in the dark, it's good. Or I think people with, like if you have any kind of like visual processing issues, or some folks just like dark mode. I have a friend who likes dark mode, but he's a little dark. But anyway, here's the dealio. This is like dark-ish mode because the instant you go into anything else, the darkness goes away. Other e-readers, dark mode is dark mode. Like all the white is dark and all the dark is white. So if you're in a situation where you truly need a dark mode, like if white messes with your eyes and you need to function in a dark mode, this probably might not be the e-reader for you, because I think I've read there are ways that you can like monkey around and make this different, but I don't think you can ever make it a true dark mode. And if it's something that you need, y'all, I just wouldn't even mess with it. I would just get an e-reader that truly has dark mode. And I love my Kobos, but like if you need dark mode, get you something with a real dark mode. This ain't dark mode. This is dark-ish mode. So anyway, I'm not even a dark mode person. I don't know why I get so jacked up about that. I guess because I'm a teacher and I teach people with learning disabilities. And I know that if you need a certain modification like that, I don't like the fact that it pretends to have it and it really doesn't. I know y'all, I'm making something out of nothing, but different than the day before. Anyway, we're moving on from that darkish mode. Let's talk about customizing our reading display. That was kind of part of customizing our reading display, but this is legit customizing our reading display. So one thing we can do is we can decide how we want. So see here, I'm in chapter 6 and I have 11 of 17. I'm on page 11 of 17 of the chapter. And then down at the bottom, I'm on page 79 of 387 of the book. Or the book, as the rabbit named Svoot would say. So I can decide what I want to have in the header. So I have pages left in the chapter. I can have % of chapter read, or time remaining in chapter, or I can just turn that off altogether. Be like, y'all hush. I don't even want to hear you talking to me. I can decide that. I can decide what I want in the footer, percent of book read, time remaining in book, or off. And I can decide if I wanted to show my progress bar, all those things. That's all in there. So you can customize how you want your progress through the book to appear. Let me back up. I'm like all up in y'all's Kool-Aid. Did y'all see any of that? I was like all up in your Kool-Aid for that whole thing. Oh yeah, I guess you could see it. Okay. I'm going to back up out your Kool-Aid though. You know what? I need to set it. So I put this stand there so that like I can gauge, like I can have it set at like a set place that I know is good, and then I don't use it. So sorry about that. I just get excited. All right. Okay, good thing I set this down because this is my jam right here. And y'all, as soon as I start talking about this, you're going to be like 100%. So touch the middle, go to the top, that little AA menu. Fonts, I know it. I have Bookly on here, y'all. I 100% bootlegged this. Well, I didn't bootleg it. I try to act like I'm cool. I'm not that cool. So here's where you can set your font size, your spacing, and all of that. So again, it's just you touch, you go to that top menu, it's that AA, and then you pick your font. Now, it is so easy to add a font to a Kobo device. You go to your computer, you plug it in, there's a little file folder there that says fonts. You drag in the font that you want. I have Bookerly. The very first thing that I do, and y'all know that I have multiple reading devices. Go on ahead and take a second, pause, take a second and judge me, and then come back because I don't want to hear it. But the first thing that I do when I open them up is I go, oh, I'm going to read with the native fonts. I'm going to be fine. I read 3 words, then I go, okay, I'm going to go put Bookerly on this thing. I put Bookerly on all of them. But here are the fonts. They have open, so I think Open Dyslexic, Lord have mercy, Open Dyslexic is really pretty standard nowadays. That's on here. There truly are some Kobo fonts that are very similar to Bookerly, which is why I'm always like, oh, I can get by on this. I really cannot. I cannot. So, but they make it super easy to drag your own stuff onto here. I've got some just bootleg fonts on here. Y'all want to see one? This one is bad. I don't even know if it'll do it. Look at that. Check that out. Can you even imagine trying to read this? I don't even know why that's on there. I think I did this just like, yeah. That's just bad. It's so bad. Like, that's so bad it's good. I know. Oh, I know. But anyway, I think I did it one day just showing how to drag fonts on here. Well, and how easy it is that you can just do all kinds of random junk. All right, where is my Bookerly? I don't think Georgia is native either. I think I dragged that on here. Now I have so much, I need to go through and clean these up because now I have so much junk on here. There it is. I know Bookerly was right below that bubbles thing. I just got myself all keyed up. All right. Okay. All right. I feel better now. Okay. So that's fine. I showed y'all nothing in there. Let's go back. So you can adjust your font, any kind of supplemental text, you can have a different font for that. Font size is here, and you can see it in live action changing. And it's got, there are like the plus and minus, so you can do it a little more human, a little more like a human than I'm doing. Line spacing, margins. This one, so I know folks are like, who even messes with margins? Look, smarty pants. If you have one of those page turn remotes, which I do, and you need a little more space at the edge because you keep like highlighting stuff instead of turning pages, just give yourself a little more margin. Justification, you can justify whatever. That's all in that AA menu. Oh, and so in a Kindle, I think it's called like weighting, like how weighted. No, it's not called weighting. It's something else because it's weight on here. It's something, I can't remember what it is in a Kindle. If I might go back and if I find it, I'll drop it in here. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway. It's bold. It's how bold. So one is your font size and the other one is boldness on the Kindle. In here, it's font size and weight. You see? So this is what I'm changing it to. You see how the words aren't really, or the letters aren't really getting bigger. They're just kind of getting thicker. So that's under, because I've had people ask if you can change, if there's some way to like adjust the boldness. It's weight on here. And it's very, very simply in the AA under font, and you just go to advanced. And you can adjust it in here. That's what it is now. Here's what it will be once I adjust it. So you can see the before and after before you change it. All right. That's your fonts. Doesn't matter often, but every once in a while this might matter. Let's talk about how to manage your battery life. How to manage your life. Like you need me telling you how to manage your life. So if you're ootin' a boot and you forgot to plug in your Kobo and you're reading this really good book and it's boot to die, just go into battery. There are energy saver settings. Now these, check on these every once in a while just to make sure you have things set where you want them, like to automatically go to sleep like after a certain amount of time. If you want it to automatically like turn off, you can set that to do that, wake up, all those things. But you can also, this tells you like your battery's all good, whatever. You can also in here, not under your battery, but right next door to your battery, go in and cut off your Wi-Fi. So, I mean, y'all know that's standard, right? Turn off your Wi-Fi, that saves your battery. Y'all get off there, quit looking at my Wi-Fis. This is one, I'm just gonna show y'all, this is kind of buried. So if you have a little shady Sadie in your house and you want to keep them off your Kindle or off your Kobo, sorry. That's the first time I've slipped and said Kindle instead of Kobo, so y'all settle down. But if you go into energy saver mode and go way down, now you have to have it set to go to sleep. But if you go way down, ask for pen to wake up or power on. So, and of course I don't have that set because like the felons are going to be trying to read my books, but again, if you have like a shady Sadie 16-year-old girl in your house that you don't want all up on your Kobo, just set that. So then when it goes to sleep, when they try to wake it up, they ain't gonna be able to get into it. And don't use like your social, the last 4 digits of your social. Don't use any part of your phone number. Use an actual like secret number. But yeah, you can keep it from your shady Sadie by doing that. And shady Sadies, you know who you are. All right. Let's keep moving. I got to get to class. Let's talk about, organizing. A couple different things we can do here to organize ourselves. One, you can do straight up on your Kobo. Now, this is pretty simple. See collections here? You can put your books into collections. Obviously, I don't do a whole lot of this. And this one's even fake. I have cannibal love stories, but I only have one actual cannibal love story in here. And there's only 2 books in my rom-com book, so y'all know that's fake. And Gunkel isn't even a rom-com. But here's how you do it. I know, I need to settle down. So in collections, you can make a new collection there by just touching the 3 dots and hitting new collection. But from your books, just long press, click add to collection, and then add to collection and save. And I think that was already in there. Save it in the collection. So you can put your books into collections and then see them into collections. And I think you can see them in your collections. Or the other thing you can do is if you want your series grouped together, which I don't think I even have a series on here right now. If your metadata, so y'all know we use Calibre, right? So if your metadata in Calibre is done correctly and you have your series information in your books on Calibre, your Kobo should see that and it should put your series together, like your books in a series together based on the series information that you put in there in Calibre. So do your series information on Calibre, then your books will be grouped together by series in your Kobo. All right. While we're talking about organizing books and things like that, let's talk just very, very quickly about libraries. Y'all know we can check out books from over... Oh, please wait. My interwebs has been super sketch lately, so it's taking a second. There we go. You can check out books directly from Overdrive. Now, there's a way to do... So this, I only have one of my library accounts logged in on Overdrive. You can do multiple accounts. Let me know in the comments if you're interested, and I'll do a video on how to do that. There's a few steps to it. We're not going to get into it here, but you can check out books directly from your library using Overdrive on your Kobo. And of course, you can do Calibre, or you can use Google Drive or Dropbox to get your books, like your collection of books, onto your Kobo. All of those are super simple. I, of course, prefer Calibre, but I haven't done Dropbox. Google Drive is super, super simple to do as well. So there are multiple ways to get your collection of books. If you didn't buy them from Kobo, it's really easy to get them onto your Kobo. They make it... Kobo is an open system, so they make it really, really easy to get your books onto their devices. What else? Oh, check this out. I just think this is fun. Let's go back into the Gunkel. You can look at your stats. So this little like grid, like bar graph up here at the top, gives you your reading stats. I just think that's fun. Shows you how much of the chapter you've read, how long you have to go in the chapter, what you have coming up in the next chapter, how long you've read. I think this is how many chapters are in the book or something. But anyway, so there are stats from the book. Of course, you can highlight and annotate. I love that you can highlight in color and you can annotate in different colors. So that's what this one is. This lets you change the color and the like thickness that you write in. I think that's super fun. I don't have any actual written annotations in this book because I'm reading it on multiple devices. And let me give you a little pointer. If you write directly in a book and then change the font size, so like, if I change my font size, see that annotation, can y'all see it? That annotation is now in this little box. So I have to click on it and it pulls it up. I know that font size is tiny and ridiculous, but it will do that anytime you change your font size if you have an annotation. So my recommendation is, if you like change your font size, change the font that you're using, any of that, it's going to put all of your annotations into little boxes. So pick a font that you like, pick a size that you like, you get your spacing, get all the things that you like, and leave them the way that they are for the book, or it's going to shift the annotations that you have in the book into those boxes, unless you like those boxes, in which case, you do you. Speaking of annotations, if you're big on taking notes and you want to take more notes than just what you can sort of jot on a page or like in a margin or something, it's super easy to switch back and forth between. So you can see here, I'm in the text of the book here. So I can just swipe down from the top and that gives me the last 3 things that I've opened. So if it was a notebook, if it was another book, whatever it was, gives me the last 3 things that I was in. So if I'm in the Gunkel right now and I'm like, oh, I want to write that down. And I have a notebook called the Gunkel. I can open up my notebook, blah, 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 jot down my note, go back to the text, read, oh, there's another good point, blah, blah, jot it down. So it's super easy to flip back and forth between notebooks and books if you want to take more extensive notes, which honestly is really kind of what I should be doing here instead of not taking notes. All right. I'm going to tell y'all this next one and proceed with caution. So, developer mode. there are more settings that you can get into, and here's how you do it. From home, just type, oops, dev mode on. One word, and hit go. It'll take a second, it'll refresh, and it pulls up some books. Don't worry about that. Get out of there. And you see more down here at the bottom? Hit that. Hit settings. Hit device info. And now look, page 1, same, nothing interesting there. Page 2, developer options. So let's go into there now. Y'all, I'm telling you, I know just enough about these things to be dangerous. Proceed with caution. But let me show you one thing. I'm not saying do this, but let me show you one thing I've done. So I went into CFA mode. These are the colors. Now, default colors on this device are really pretty, but G2 colors pop. And that's what I have set. And that's why my book covers jump out at you, because it's just a little bit richer, like just a little bit more saturated. Now, sometimes, like if you're in a comic, this thing, I think it ghosts. I definitely think it ghosts, but I think it's really pretty, and I'm a little over the top, and I'm okay with some ghosting, because then it just kind of refreshes itself, and then you get on with life. But y'all, look at these colors. Can you see that? Now, again, I'm not telling you to do it. As with many of the things that I do, I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that I did it. So that's that. Developer mode. You can go in there and mess around. And there's always factory reset. Should we? Well, no. All right. I was going to say, should we talk about a factory reset? Let's even do that. Let's talk about okay, so if you go back to Discover, because we were in the overdrive, right? If you go to your bookstore, your daily deals, it will give you a daily deal, and you can, do y'all know about this one? Add books to your wish list. So let's say, so these are all, ooh, y'all, oh my goodness gracious. We're not talking books today, but The Wedding People is a fantastic book. I read Project Hail Mary. Oh, y'all, love. Oh, everybody go buy that. It's $1.99. Go buy that right now. Right now. It is so good. I promise you will love it. And so I read it and I listened to it on Audible, like legit Audible, like the Amazon version one. It is so stinking good. I don't know. This is actually, somebody either tell us or we should do some research and find out if the audio versions that Kobo sells are the same as the audio versions that Amazon sells. Because I don't know that. And I know that the Audible version of Project Hail Mary is absolutely, like I've never known, I've had lots of people comment on Project Hail Mary, and people will tell me when I go gaga about a book, if they don't like it, they'll be like, that book kind of sucks. Like, I like you, but that book kind of sucks. Everybody loves Project Hail Mary. Fantastic book, y'all go buy it. I'm going to stop right now. But anyway, that's not even why we're here. I just got all, I get all excited. So, I don't know if I can do this from here. Okay, if I go to the book, look right there, wish list. You can make yourself a wish list of books that, here's my wish for, I'm going to cry. I love that book so much. Not even sad. There's some sad parts. It's not even sad. I'm going to cry because I wish, that's honest to goodness, y'all, I wish I could read it again for the first time. What am I doing? We're talking tips and tricks. So deals. And now we know wish list. Now y'all know I'm crazy in case you didn't already. Welcome to the fun house. What is that? See, this is why we can't do this together. I just saw a crazy looking book. What was it? Now it's gone. Dang it. Dadnabbit. Y'all, quit it. All right, let's get out of here. All right, let's get out of here for real. So, so those are my tips and tricks. We love Calibre. I've done videos on managing your ebooks using Calibre. I manage all of my everything using Calibre. So I use Calibre. The reason that I'm saying this now is that I use Calibre to not auto-convert, but like to convert my books to formats that I want them in before moving them to my e-readers. So like I convert books to what I want them to be before I move them to my Kobo, and clean up the metadata so that I use Calibre to clean up my metadata so that when my books are in my Kobo, the covers, I have covers that I like. Like if there's a book that has a cover that I don't like, I don't have that book cover in my e-readers, not anymore, because now we know how to change that in Calibre. So I'll link at least one of my Calibre videos here. So if you don't know how to do those things, you can go back and find out. And if you don't know what Calibre is, go learn because it's fantastic. And y'all, that's it. I got to get out of here. I've been yapping forever and I got to go teach a class. So let us know in the comments, what are your favorite Kobo tips and tricks? Because I know that I've missed some. So let us know in the comments, what are your favorites? Oh, and let me know, do you have questions? What things do you think your Kobo should be able to do and you don't know how to do it? Let us know in the comments. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos over on Fit Danielle Eats the beginning of every week, with some book videos over here sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.